All right, so we added the drive shaft safety loop and the subframe connectors, but did it add weight and how much? All right, now first off, I'm going to tell you the car with a half tank of gas before the subframe connectors with the stamped steel control arms in the tubular K member come in at a weight at 3,080 pounds. So 3,080 pounds, that's still pretty light for this thing. But when I added the subframe connectors and when I added the drive shaft safety loop in there, I also swapped the control arms for the tubulars. Now, when I did that, I did weigh them, and the stamped steel ones, I weighed separately, obviously, individually. But then when I tried to weigh the tubulars, I couldn't get the scale to even read them, so I just stacked them on top of the stamped steel ones. So you can see the weight difference right here. Now you take that and multiply it by 2, and you come up with a pretty decent savings. So if we hadn't changed that, the addition of the subframe connectors and the drive shaft safety loop in there, the car went on the scale, and this is what it weighed. Now you realize both of those tubular control arms weighed less than a single stamped. So we're obviously going to have to add that difference into this total that the scale got just for an even comparison. So that difference is going to be 16.4 pounds. So we're just going to add 16 pounds to the total we got, which, as you can see, was 3,120 pounds. Now I did also make sure that the car had a half tank of gas in it because I wanted to make it as equal as possible. Of course, the only other way I could have done is make sure it was full tank, but give or take a few pounds for the weight of fuel. So that roughly comes in at roughly, I think it was 56 pounds, somewhere around there, difference by adding those in there. And just a little addition here, something I had also forgotten. The weight to me didn't seem to add up right, but I also forgot that we added the exhaust to make it a catback on here. So really, that's the only major weight we've seen change-wise. So swapping the control arms really kind of offset that, and we're really only seeing the extra 40 pounds from the exhaust, possibly, or a small combination of the two. Now you realize something that is super cool. This thing weighs 3,120 with a catback and everything in there and all the extra safety stuff. Like, that's super light, and that's what makes these underpowered cars still relevant today, other than, they're actually, this is an antique. I can put historical plates on it now, but they're still relevant and they're still fun. They're still enjoyable and affordable to own and drive. Now we're on to the next weight savings thing. And believe it or not, it's this fella. This right here. This is actually going to shed off quite a bit of weight on the nose. And that beauty right there comes in at 20.2 pounds. Now, believe it or not, this thing right here, that GT45. I've been running this thing for a good while. That's my first turbo I used. It comes in at almost 41 pounds. Now you realize, 41 pounds, okay? So we're getting ready to shave 20 more pounds off the nose of this thing, which will help tremendously, especially on the launch. But that'll put this car right around 3,100 pounds even with a half tank of gas. That's awesome. Light as possible and still enjoyable. It doesn't even really look like much of a difference, but trust me, when you get up close on it, you start looking here, everything there. There's actually a rather large difference. But that's for the next video. So don't forget to like and subscribe. We get more updates on this swap.